Well, my name is Will Jones. I am, I suppose, the figurehead, if you like, of the Truro Fans Trust. We've got a lot of good support behind us now. We're growing rapidly. I never experienced this kind of support levels. And yeah, like I say, we're growing rapidly, but we do need a lot of support to keep going. A lot of interested people who want to come aboard and help the trust, and we need to try and utilise that to take the trust forward and build for a better future for Truro City Football Club, really.
We hadn't heard of you a month ago. You seem to have come out of the woodwork, if that's not a rude remark. Could you tell us about your involvement in Cornwall?
Yeah, sure. My family own the St Austell breweries, and with my family owning that, I felt it in my interests and almost due to do something to help the football club, having the brewery had responsibilities with the club in the past, and if thinking, taking the club forward in the future, there is assistance from local business, and hopefully the St Austell breweries, being a large company throughout Cornwall and Devon, hopefully they'll want to get on board and promote the success of Cornish football.
What's your sort of background? What expertise have you got to bring to this post?
Okay, well, I suppose it's nothing too fantastic, but about 12 years ago I worked alongside people at Cardiff City. We organised a march to protest about the outgoing chairman then. We needed to bring in new investment. The club were languishing at the bottom of the 3rd Division, which was a perilous situation to be in with no money, close to administration. And our group, which I didn't form, someone else formed, but I was part of, our group helped bring in Sam Haman, and a lot of people look back on that and that they will draw criticisms about Sam coming to the club, but after he came, he brought security to the club. He removed elements of the club which were demeaning to its name, and he helped create what was last year the Fans Club of the Year. It's a place you can take the whole family. So that's what I'm trying to create here at Truro, is to be able to offer something for everybody to come and be involved in. I don't want to be the figurehead. I'd like to pass this on to someone much more fitting, but I feel in the meantime I have to keep going to keep things rolling, because things are close now. I really believe that we've got a hope of saving our club.
How will that hope be realised?
Well, I have been informed that there are interested parties who would like to speak to the trust and talk further about taking the club forward. I can't say who they are, because at the moment I don't know who they are. In the past I've spoken to Steve Massey, who all the fans will know. Top man. I can't credit the bloke enough. His passion for the club is amazing, and if more people could get behind him and show the commitment that the fans are, I think Truro could become a force, and that's not being unrealistic. If everyone decided to put, so to speak, their money where their mouths were, we could really become something, and that's not being unrealistic.
Is it possible to keep this club afloat? I mean, what other income streams are there?
Well, at the moment, no income streams have really been explored. If you look at I've seen the books, I've been through the books, I know the state of affairs, and without wishing to be too derogatory towards anyone that was involved previously, they're a mess. Things have got to be changed pretty quickly. The club's got to explore income revenues like marketing. We've got to think about producing things that we can sell, because the fans are interested in supporting the club. They want to, if they're going on holiday, they want to advertise that they're from Truro or they're from Cornwall and they're a Truro fan. So there's lots of room. There's things like sponsoring players. It hasn't been done before. Little things like maybe involving cheerleaders. There's a college next door to the ground with, I imagine, dance classes. So I would dare say there are young boys and girls who would like to come down, dance every week. It's another way of bringing in a few more people. It creates more of a family atmosphere. There are other things you can do, like it doesn't cost too much to bring in a bouncy castle, so you've got something for the younger children to do while the mums and dads get to enjoy themselves watching the football. Small ideas like that can make the difference between a fledgling club and a club that slowly climbs the leagues.
Is that going to bring in hundreds of thousands of pounds?
No, not at all. But when you combine lots of small efforts, that's when you see the difference. The idea of a trust is to open up ideas so everyone gets to say what they think will help the club. That's what we need. We need one person having a role and sticking to it and trying to push that role, develop that role. It's never going to work with one man trying to run everything. It's too much to expect. But if everyone chips in and takes control of something they feel not passionately about, but they feel secure and safe dealing with, then yeah, sure, the club will continue to grow, because I look at it now compared to a month ago and the club has grown. So yeah, the club can continue to grow.
From your own sort of professional background and work, what sort of expertise and background can you bring to this?
Well, I was a business development manager at Ford. I was one of the youngest, I think, when I initially went in there. I successfully worked for Ford for many years. Then when they experienced financial difficulties, I took my redundancy paycheck and invested in solar panelling. And I was lucky enough to make a substantial amount of money, not enough to be able to invest in a football club, but I can live comfortably and provide for my fiance, and when I have children I can provide for them. I'm not in a position to be able to throw money at a football club. There aren't many people that are. But I know people, or I know of people, who are willing to invest small amounts in football clubs, and that's what I'm trying to do, to collectively bring these people together who, instead of, spending a certain amount at Salisbury City and Dorchester City, for example, might collectively come to Truro, where there is more potential, because it's a long way to go to another ground, another league ground, a League Two. You're talking Plymouth Argyle. That's quite a distance. It's a long way to travel.
So you feel that you can get something together in time for Tuesday?
I hope I can, and I'll work as hard as possible to make sure something can happen. The figures that have been announced, some people have said about in the press, they're nowhere near as bad as have been announced. They're workable. Jake Ash publicly came out and said that things aren't as bad as people read and hear, and he's right. It just takes someone with a bit of business nous to come in and restructure things. You need to make sure that the roles being offered are volunteer roles. You shouldn't expect to be paid for the work you do. I would never expect to take a penny out of Truro. The money I've spent so far, driving to meet supporters direct, etc., that's come out of my own pocket. I do not want any money back, and I'm willing to commit my own money, not a large amount, but a substantial fund, to the trust, to help grow the trust, and there are other members who are willing to do the same.
So you think the Dover game will go ahead next Saturday?
I'll make sure it will. I'll do my best anyway, and I know the players are behind us. Without the support of the players, who have been beyond fantastic, they're a different bunch of normal players. I know you shouldn't really say that, but in this case, I believe so. You look at other clubs who go to the wall, and no one really wants to hang around and do something and productively want to save the club, whereas in this case, they've stuck together. Manager Lee Hodges is an absolute credit. The way he managed to get results with what he has, he belongs in the Premiership. And again, with some of the boys we've got, I've said before that they are playing above their level, but they still want to stay and commit to Truro, and that's loyalty. And loyalty is a huge part of any football club. If the players want to play for you, you can go further. But what we want to do in the future is to build a structure where the youth are involved so much they have a say about the football club, and they are involved every stage of the way. I want to see as many young people down the ground as is possible, and I want to try and develop young talent in Cornwall, because that's vital. The amount of young talent that gets lost at the moment is shocking. You just have to look through the leagues to see where the players come from, and there aren't enough coming from Cornwall and Devon. There needs to be more, and I suppose that's the primary aim of Truro, to be able to sustain itself at conference level or beyond by producing talent developed through their own youth centres and not an academy, but our own youth centres.
Will Jones, I wish you well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.